Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajajana Very good one. More mercy. Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gauri Bha, Hare Bha, Hare Bha, Bha Hare Bha. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Satat Sisimad Divine Grace is Acharya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Satat Sisimad Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Basari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dhama Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakta Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vina Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glory is to the Saman devotees. All glory is to the Saman devotees. All glory is to the Saman devotees. All glory is to Sisagora and Guranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Seva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyatsa Sato Jayat Mudirayat Nasta Prayesva Bhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. So, welcome everyone to this segment of the morning devotional activities. So the morning Srimad Bhagavatam is in place of reading a specific verse, we will be discussing or sharing some things on the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadeva. Today is the glorious appearance of Nrsimhadeva. So, traditionally, in ISKCON, we don't just tell stories. We have books. That's why I requested for this book. So whatever we will be saying here will be coming from this book and Srimad Purana. Srimad Purana documents in details some of the things that Vyasadeva detailed in Srimad Purana. He did not mention that in the Bhagavatam in this very canto. So that is why we'll be making references this morning and in the evening. Yeah, we'll be talking about Prahlad. We're talking about the appearance of Nrsimhadev, the glorifications of Nrsimhadev. And the best of the glorifiers of Nrsimhadev is his devotee himself, Sri Prahlad Maharaj. So I was just reflecting on a lecture given by Prabhupada on this, this very same day in Los Angeles in 1972. And so Prabhupada mentions how the Lord appeared. Of course, that is documented in the Bhagavatam in Prabhupada's own purport. The Lord appeared, and why does he have to appear? Or what is the objective of the Lord appearing as half man, half lion? So there is, how many people are coming, hearing these stories of Prahlad, Nrsimha and Prahlad for the first time? Anyone who's hearing it for the first time? So all of you are familiar. All right. So the purpose of the Lord appearing half man, half lion is documented in this very book, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, and also in the Nrsimha Purana. Now, there was a great devotee named Prahlad, and his father was a demon, Hiranyakasipu. And Hiranyakasipu subjected Prahlad to a lot of inhuman torture. Why? Because Prahlad was addicted to Vishnu, to the worship of Vishnu. Prahlad was, unlike other members of the constituency of Hiranyakasipu who were worshipping Hiranyakasipu, although Hiranyakasipu was so powerful. So Prahlad was dedicated to the worship of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and Hiranyakasipu did not like it. He had warned Prahlad several times, and Prahlad was persistent in his worship of Lord Krishna. In other words, Prahlad had a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, but he was consistent and persistent. In fact, Hiranyakasipu even tried to kill Prahlad. He directly told him, because you're just a fool, I will kill you. He tried to kill Prahlad, but he was not successful. What are the different ways that Hiranyakasipu tried to kill Prahlad? Poison. Yes, anything else? Throw him off the cliff. Huh? Can't hear you. Oh, elephant, yeah. To be trampled by an can you imagine? A 5-year-old boy, you throw him to be trampled by an elephant. Just the elephant foot is so heavy. 5 years old, you will just smash him to pieces. What next? Oil, boiling oil. Fire. Throw him into the den of poisonous snakes. Several ways. He tried to kill Hiranyakasipu tried to kill his own son. So killing of babies or killing people trying to kill their own children is not something new. But Hiranyakasipu's case was such that the reason was not because he didn't want a child, he was a king, and he had so much of money, but it's just that Prahlad was not worshipping him, he was worshipping Lord Vishnu. So he got offended by that. He considered Vishnu to be his enemy. So in other words, anyone who is worshipping Vishnu is enemy of Hiranyakasipu. So we are all his enemies. And Prahlad's case was so pronounced that he tried to kill him. But because Prahlad was protected by the Lord, he couldn't kill him. So he was surprised. And he asked Prahlad, one of the texts, he asked Prahlad directly, so where did you get all this your power? Prahlad said, the same place you got your power. the same source. And he was questioning Prahlad, you mean, where is this your Lord? Prahlad said, oh, he's everywhere. And Hiranyakasipu pointed to one of the pillars in his palace. He said, you mean he's also inside this pillar? Prahlad said, yes, of course. And just to fulfill the words of his devotee. Krishna never fails his devotee. He says, whatever, in the Bhagavad Gita he mentions, whatever a devotee lacks, he will personally provide. And whatever he has, he will preserve. So as Prahlad mentioned that, yes, yeah, he answered to a question from to his father's question. Yes, he's also present in a pillar. And then the pillar cracked. A tumultuous sound, vibration emanated. Hiranyakasipu was baffled. Did the Lord, does he have any need to appear from a pillar? Of course, no. But to fulfill the words of his pure devotee. And then this gigantic, fearsome form of the Lord appeared. Half man, half lion. Why half man, half lion? Why don't you just come as a lion? Or a man? Why did the Lord have to appear in this way? Here we understood. He cracked up from the pillar because he wanted to fulfill Prahlad's words. He did not never wants his devotees to be turned down, to seem like, oh, you just bluff. No. But then, why did he have to appear half man, half lion? Yes. Hiranyakasipu has gone to perform heavy austerities. And these austerities, by dint of his austerities, he was able to invoke Lord Brahma. Of course, not necessarily that he invoked Lord Brahma, but by dint of his austerities, the whole universe was being disturbed. And eventually Brahma has to come to him. What boon do you want? What is the problem? What do you want? It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam how he performed so much austerity that even his body was overtaken by anti. And when he performed those austerities, he became so powerful. That was like the second attempt he went into the forest to perform the austerity. In the Nrsimha Purana, it is mentioned, interestingly, it's mentioned in Nrsimha Purana how Hiranyakasipu has told Kayadu that, look, like, a gentleman, a caring gentleman will tell his wife, oh, Maharaji, see, I have plans. I'm going to go into the forest to perform some austerities. It will be a long time before you see me. So he already has debriefed the wife that he wants to go for a long time into the forest for austerities. And before he debriefed Kayadu, Lord Brahma already knew what the guy was planning. Another Muni also already knew what the guy was planning. Another Muni was aware that Hiranyakashipu's plans of austerity to demand from his father, immortality from his father, is disturbing Lord Brahma like anything. Narada Muni has that potency of Trikalagya. He knows present, past, future. So, and keep in mind, Narada Muni is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So he knew. And so Narada Muni visited his father, Lord Brahma, and told, like, a typical affectionate child will approach the father and say, the father is in anxiety, and he says, oh, Papa, don't worry, I will help with this problem. So he approached Lord Brahma. This is documented in Srimad Purana. He approached Lord Brahma and said, my dear Lord, I know the problem you are facing, but don't worry, I'll take care of it. And Brahma thought, what? How is he going to take care of this? This is the plan of the guy. He wants to come to the forest to perform austerity to make all this unhealthy demand. But Narada Muni really took care of that. So Narada Muni has discussed with his friend, what's his name? The one who was benefited by Narada and then later was meandering. What's his name of Narada's friend? So anyway, his name escaped me. But when I remember, I'll let you know. So Narada spoke with his friend that they should both have the bodies of birds and perch on a tree where Hiranyakashipu will be performing, or under where the Hiranyakashipu will be performing his austerities. So they went. Hiranyakashipu has gone to the forest after telling Kayadu that he was going to the forest to perform austerities. So as he started his austerities, Narada Muni went there with his friend in the form of birds. So they perched on the tree under which Hiranyakashipu was performing the austerities. And they started chanting, Om Narayana Yanama, Om Narayana Yanama, Om Narayana Yanama. And Hiranyakashipu was hearing that. And he was very disturbed. So he left. He went back home. And when he went back home, his wife did not ask him, because that was just a short time. And he came back and he debriefed the wife that he was going to go for a long time. And so when he came back, one day, they were having an affair. And in the middle of the affair, Kayadu asked, my dear husband, like, traditionally we call, honey, you said you'd be gone for a long time, and you came back so quickly. What happened? And Hiranyakashipu started narrating what transpired when he was in the forest to perform the austerities. He told the wife how 2 birds came perching there. And they were chanting, Om Narayana, Om Narayana. As he was reciting Om Narayana, at that time he discharged semen. That is how Prahlad was invoked. This is the fundamental secret. How Prahlad, that powerful soul, was invoked. Hiranyakashipu chanted Om Narayana, not deliberately glorifying Narayana, but repeating that mantra which the 2 birds were chanting on the tree. At that time, he discharged semen. That is how Prahlad became born. So this has a big spiritual, social, matrimonial implication for human society. That even a demon like Hiranyakasipu could give birth to such a powerful son, a well-dedicated son. And therefore, if someone, and I say this all the time, if someone wants to also procreate a powerful son who will help in redirecting a misdirected civilization, they have to understand that it involves some austerity, and they have to be saturated with Krishna consciousness at the time of mating. So we have this Garbhadam Samskara book. We recommend people to read it. You want to have a child with your spouse, read the Garbhadam Samskara book. It is very challenging. It's very detailed on how you have to go about with that austerity, with that samskara, but it produces very powerful results. So, back to Nrsimhadev's appearance. So then, Lord Nrsimhadeva appeared from that pillar, very gigantic and many hands, and he grabbed Hiranyakasipu like a wasp, grabbing an insect. And to fulfill all of the boons that he had received from Lord Brahma, he did not use any weapon on him. He used his nails, because that is outside of the jurisdiction of Hiranyakasipu's boon. He didn't mention about nails. He said weapons. In other words, you can't kill Hiranyakasipu with ballistic weapons. So Prabhupada made a comment that Hiranyakasipu was superlatively intelligent. He tried to cheat. He tried to cheat Lord Brahma. But when he asked Lord Brahma, give me this, give me that, all of these requirements amounts to immortality. And so Lord Brahma said, look, I'm not immortal. The first time he directly told Brahma, I want to be immortal. And Brahma said, no, I'm not able to give you that. Then he made all these suggestions. And then all of these suggestions also meets up with the immortality concept. But then the Lord kept all of these bones tied in place and used his fingers to tear him apart. And Papa went on to comment that if people want to cheat, or the people think that they're very intelligent, we should not extend that intelligence to try to play games with Krishna. Of course, even in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, of cheats, he's the gambler. And so, we see a typical case where the Lord exhibits this principle of being a gambler, of cheats. That someone like Hiranyakasipu, who was so intelligent that he acquired all these different type of boons from Lord Brahma, the Lord was able to circumvent all these boons and still kill him. And this is a very serious lesson for all of us. A serious lesson for all of us in the sense that the traditional thought or mindset is nobody is there. Nobody is seeing you. Do it. Who is there watching you? The Lord is also situated in our hearts as the super soul. Ishvara Sarva Bhuta Nam Redi Se Ajuna Tistati. So we try to cheat the Lord. We end up being cheated. And Lord Jagannath, you have Lord Jagannath here in a temple. Lord Jagannath has very big eyes. Big eyes. For what? To see far and wide. to see far and wide. And so, Lord Krishna, keep in mind that Nrsimhadeva is the fourth incarnation. There are different incarnations of the Lord that are documented in the Bhagavatam, and Lord Nrsimhadeva is the fourth incarnation. The Lord said in Bhagavad Gita that when there is a disarray in the principles of implementing religious injunctions, I'm paraphrasing, he does appear. But then the most important thing for the Lord, for the Lord's appearance, is to please his devotee. Therefore, to be able to please Prahlad, to protect him, he appeared. And not just protect him, he killed the father who was taunting him, wanting to kill, tried several times to kill him. So this should, if we have to explore the implications of this very scenario, it means a lot in our devotional life. That Krishna can protect us in any circumstances. What is the requirement is that we should be devoted to him. Dedication to him. Surrender to him. Krishna again mentioned in the Gita, Sarva Dhamma Paritijam, Mamikam Tranamraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papi, Mokshayesha Mimasuja. The surrender is the principle that makes the provisions for the complete protection. And Krishna again mentioned, Yetamam Prapajanti, Tamsataiva Bhajamya. As is a Lord of reciprocity. We may say, oh, but Krishna is treating his devoted like a business transaction. What you give, if you give more to him, then he provides you also. Where do we get our own idea? Where do we get this real talent of reciprocity or this intelligence that we have to reciprocate with somebody? Is coming from Krishna? So, if we not surrender to Krishna, there is no question of our being protected. If we are not surrendered to Krishna, there is no question of being protected. Yes, we get protected too, to some degree, by dint of our karma. But if you are surrendered to Krishna, he goes the extra way. Remember, Krishna promised not to partake of the fight on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But when he found out his devotee Arjuna was endangered, he broke that vow. In several cases, the Lord has been protecting his devotees. And therefore, there was a scenario when, even when Lord Shiva was being Lord Shiva's worshipper was trying to test a boon he received from Lord Shiva on Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva ran to take shelter of Lord Vishnu. So even the demigods, they are sheltered by the Lord. So what makes us think that the Lord would not provide us with the appropriate protection. So, this is a period we have to be very reflective in terms of Lord Nrsimhadev's appearance. I remember when I had my accident in 1990, when I was in Nigeria, just a young brahmachari. I had all my bones and all, like broken. And when I was recovering, I asked, my Guru Maharaja, Bhakti Vasudeva Swami, so what shall I do if I perceive that there is a danger here? But I have to do that because that day I was traveling. I was the regional secretary. I was traveling to different temples, and I was going to the capital city of the country for a legal case. Someone tried to steal one of our vehicles, and then he was arrested. So the case was coming up, and I was traveling. So I had to go for that case, but it was getting late after this Sunday program in one temple. So they took me to the park to board a bus. But when I entered this bus, a minibus, when I entered this bus, sat down, I was not comfortable. I came out from the bus, and I told the devotees that I don't feel like going with this vehicle. But then they said, this is the last vehicle going, otherwise you miss the court case. What to do? So I went in back. That same vehicle had a terrible accident where practically half of the people died. But you know what? Krishna still protected me. I was supposed to die. Normally, we don't really, say our lived experiences, but sometimes we need to say it so that it consolidates people's faith. So then, as the vehicle was on high speed, I was a little bit tired after chanting, so I bowed my head, and then I had people shouting, like Christians are shouting, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And I raised my head and I saw that the vehicle was flipping. And I thought, oh, my life is finished. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That was the last thing I knew I did. The next thing I found myself by the road, lying down amongst dead bodies. I couldn't get up. This pelvic bone was broken. This bone was broken. Leg bone was broken. So many. Bladder was ruptured. It was ghastly. And then also, as I was there, somebody came around. It was about 9 o'clock in the night. Someone came with water. I said, take this water. You must be tasty. And I was really tasty. But something clicked on me. I'm not a good guy. So I just told this guy, get out with your water. I was lying there, completely helpless. But I told this guy, get out with your water. So later ambulance came, picked us up with the dead bodies, and we went to our hospital for surgeries and all these things. So I told this to the doctors, to the surgeons, and they said, what type of person are you? He said, if you are taking that water, you're gone. Because you have a ruptured bladder, you drink that water, it will just, the internal bleeding will just intensify, it will spread and wipe you out. So Krishna protects. Even with our little services, Krishna is there to protect us. And therefore, we should understand that the case of Prahlad, the challenges that Prahlad faced, they are situations that are analogous to what little things that we face in our devotional life. Prahlad was worshiping Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and even his own father tried to kill him. Sometimes the devotees are having challenges and then they feel, why should I have these challenges? I've been a devotee for the past 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. What is Krishna doing? And you know what? When Bhakti Vasudeva Swami came, I was discharged from the hospital. I stayed in hospital like this for 2 months without eating. Just being fed through intravenous and fluids. You know, the first thing he told me, I was discharged from the clinic, I was still carrying suprapubic tubes. First thing he told me, he said, Vasudev, you are on a crash program. Yeah, so the point is that we're trying to be devoted. We're trying to be devotees. Prahlad has his problems. Prahlad passed through some challenges. We should not think that we will not have challenges. When we have challenges, we should remember Prahlad, how Lord Nrsimhadeva came to save him. The Lord may not personally come to save us from the problem, but He will inspire us. I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture when someone was asking him, Prabhupada, we have this special project. Should I go to class? We have to go to this place, this place, this place. Should I go to class? Prabhupada ignored him. He didn't respond. So they were talking, I heard some other thing. He came back again to that same thing, whether he should go to class. Prabhupada said, yes, go to class. When you go to class and hear the Bhagavatam, when you have a problem, Krishna will inspire you on how to address that problem. Of course, this time in the morning before we read the Bhagavatam, we say, Nastra Payesu Abhadus Nityam Bhagavata Seva. So yes, Hiranyakasipu came, he delivered Prahlad. Lord Krishna is always there to protect us. The important thing for us is to try to be devotees. One may say, well, I'm a devotee. I've been serving for the past decades. Yes, but devotees are of different categories. We should aim and work hard to attain that faith that Prahlad had for Lord Vishnu. Krishna wants to see whether we want something else or we want him. So if we have challenges, he wants to see whether we are more interested in dealing with the challenges than serving him. Prahlad had a lot of challenges. He did not abandon his service. I remember, again, when I was in Africa, one Mangarati, after Mangarati, we used to read something like you do this in the morning. And then, after that, Bhakti Swami was checking the whole hall, and then he didn't find one devotee, one Sankirtan devotee was not there. His name is Srimad Bhagavatam. So he said, where is this devotee? And then someone said, oh, he's sick. He said, go and bring him here. Better to die before the deities. So, we could have excuses, health issues, and say, I'm going on a break for the service. But I did not go on a break. And he was not jaded at all, despite all the challenges. And so there is a lot of devotional implications in the protection that Lord Nrsimhadeva provided for Prahlad. But we also are getting protection according to our devotion. Any comments or questions? We have 10 more minutes. Yes. Don't do that. Yeah. We have, I think that's it's a common problem. In research, we have what is a general problem and a specific problem. A general problem is something that, majority of people are having to pass through. You don't kill yourself because of that. If you have a specific problem, a peculiar problem, you have to hurriedly deal with it. Of course, general problems also, we don't necessarily need to resonate with that and just align with it and then feel comfortable. We should struggle to, get ourselves, we should struggle to make a difference. And so, sometimes we realize that, yes, I want to do this, I want to be like this, but, it's like, the spirit is willing, the body is weak. And one of the problems is hridaya dobhalya, weakness of heart. We have intention, we have good intention, we're not able to implement the strategies that will help us to achieve that goal. And in fact, leading a life without setting goals could be problematic. Because then we lead a life like, a type of laissez-faire type of, system, anything goes. And so, one strategy that we can use or we can adopt in dealing with this type of situation is think about having an emergency consciousness. You see, if there's an emergency, if even you have illness, if even you're hungry, hunger goes away, illness goes away. If there's an emergency, no, you forget about all those and then so we should develop an emergency consciousness. And then the question is, how do we develop emergency consciousness? By aligning with people who are operating on that level. Because if we think, well, I have many more years to go. I mean, it's like young people, they say, some of them, they say, oh, devotional service is a lifetime project. I don't need to be in a hurry. Let's go gradually. And sometimes someone else is very serious, then, they go to preach to him that, where are you going? Why so much in a hurry? I mean, it's like a traditional thing we have, like in some families, you have someone is sacrificing their life for Krishna, but some member of the family once is interested in Krishna consciousness, and then other members of the family, they say, no, you cannot do this. I mean, it's like, you want to be saintly? Just be sinful like us. Where are you going? Where are you going? Yeah. So, to help in getting out from that type of stagnation, we should read Prabhupada's books. How many people, these days, we don't find many people, many of our devotees reading Prabhupada's books every day. When we join, every day 1 hour is set aside by the management just for reading. Everybody will sit there to read. That was how the program was set up. And so before you live in the temple for 1 year, you finish reading the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad time is halfway. Oh yeah. So we should read every day. And we're feeling stagnated, we should also visit the Holy Dam. Ask yourself, when was the last time I went to Mayapur or Vrindavan? You go to those places, you feel the difference. Yeah. See, first time I was in India for 3 years, 7 months. And I didn't want to come back to America. But you know, my Guru Maharaja didn't say that, oh, go and save yourself, go and stay in India. He didn't tell me that. So I had to come, I had to leave and go back to the battlefield. Yeah, if you go to Mayapur Vrindavan, you see the difference. You see how your japa completely becomes transformed. You see your consciousness becomes transformed. The only problem is that when you go to these two places, to live becomes a difficulty. Because I've heard this from many people, not only me saying it. When you go there, you don't want to live. Because you see the difference. At least, people going to Disney Island and all these things, we should also schedule our lives in such a way, program ourselves in such a way that we find time to go to the dam. Yes, we'll say, well, this is New Vrindavan, this is the dam. Yes, I agree with you. But even the devotees in New Vrindavan, they visit India. How many people have been to Mayapur and Vrindavan here? Okay, almost everybody. Yeah, if you go, you see the difference. Go hang out there. Stagnation will go away. You go in next year? Huh? Kartik, good. Yeah, it's important. We should, put it as part of our program to visit the Holy Dam, India. Any last comment or questions? Yeah.
In the personal account that you gave, it's kind of clear to see how Lord Nrsimhadeva protected you, right? It's clear to see his hand. And with Prahlad Maharaj, right, it's obvious to see Lord Nrsimhadeva's busting out of a pillar. And when we're reading the Bhagavatam, all of these pure devotees, we can see how Krishna's giving instruction, protecting, etc., in all of these different forms. But for someone who's very new, impure, how can someone like me see Nrsimhadeva's protection in my life? For instance, I experience reversals. And when talking to devotees, revealing your heart, the response can be, it's Krishna's protection, or it can be, it's my karma, or it's, etc. How to navigate not having such a relationship with Krishna where it's so clear for me.
Yeah, that's a nice point. You see, sometimes people say, and I had some people complain that to me personally. Someone comes to me and says, Maharaj, I've been a devotee for this number of years, and I'm still having this problem and that problem and that problem. Is the chanting really working? I say, all right, you want to see whether the chanting is working? I prescribe this experiment for you. Stop chanting for 2 weeks, and then you see the difference. Why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me this? Why are you giving me this type of strategy? I said, but you said you're doubting if the chanting is working. So you see what follows when you stop chanting. So yeah, Krishna's protection is there. Purification is going on if we are chanting every day, if we are following the four regulative principles, if we are attending the programs, if we are listening to the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, if we are coming, participating in the classes, we are coming to Mangarati, we see that the way our mindset is transformed. And keep in mind that, I mentioned the case where my Guru Maharaja told me, I had a terrible accident. He didn't come to tell me, oh, Vasudev, oh, I really empathize with you about this, this accident. I hope that you recover quickly. No, he didn't say that. He said, hey, Vasudev, you are on a crash program. A crash program means that, for instance, if a program, say you're going for a crash program in a university, a course that will take you maybe 5 years, the crash program is 3 years or 2 years. So we have so much work to do within that period, no breathing space. Then you could say, to hell with education. That's one option. The other option is that you comport yourself, organize yourself, strategically manage your 24 hours, and focus on the coursework. You will excel, even perhaps with A's. But if the pressure is too much, you could say, well, I'm quitting. Most of us are on crash programs. We have so much from past life. And Krishna wants to release us from this cycle of samsara. And so, all of those things are bunched together, and you have to deal with it in this lifetime. So you feel sometimes, I'm not making any progress. Is the Lord really protecting me? What is all this? You see, my friend who is not a devotee is not suffering like me, People make that type of comment. Yes. But understand, Krishna gives you the inspiration to navigate through even the seemingly impossible situations. Everyone is not going to be the same. Everyone will not experience the same situations. We are different. And so some of us have some heavy duty, we are driving heavy duty trucks. Someone driving a limousine, Ferrari, Lamborghini. Some even have private jets. So you don't say, oh, Krishna, what is it? Why some people are having private jets and I'm driving Ferrari? The requital epistemology that we have to deal with is not the same. But we should stay put, buckle up the seatbelt. You are aboard the plane, back home, back to God. Sometimes you're on the plane and the pilot says, hey, buckle up your seatbelt. He puts up the seatbelt sign, buckle up your seatbelt. We are going to be passing through a turbulent zone. You don't jump up from the airplane because, you're passing through a turbulent zone. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Sri Nrsimhadeva ki jai.